स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय Ramakrishnaaya te namaha. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who descended on this earth to establish the Dharma, who is the embodiment of all religions, and who is the best among the incarnations. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we are almost at the last sloka or the last verse or the fourth verse of the Om Hrim Ritam. So it is a wonderful hymn written by the knower of the truth on the Sharanagati, that is surrender. So what do we mean by surrender? What are the limbs of surrender? 6 limbs of surrender and all we have seen in the earlier classes. And why should we surrender at the feet of the Lord? If you ask, so Swami Vivekananda has given enough rationals or enough reasons, enough points why we should take shelter at the feet of the Lord. And in the previous verse, third verse, who can attain immortality? Who can attain supreme self? Who can attain God has been told beautifully from the point of bhakti, from the point of divine love. So beautiful. If you remember the earlier class, previous class, it can be summarized into 3 or 4 points. What is that? One who is completely satisfied in God, he can attain immortality. He can attain God. That is nothing but bhakti. He is completely satisfied in getting in Lord itself, in Supreme Self itself. Then who derives, or the second is, who derives the great joy by having the God, by having the Lord. If you remember the Mahabharata story, the Arjuna and Duryodhana, both of them, they go to seek the help from Sri Krishna. The war is yet to begin. Then Krishna asks Arjuna, what do you want? And before that itself said, look, I am one side and my 4 Akshoyini Sainya, that is probably 11 or 14 Akshoyini Sainya, it will be one side. And I am not going to fight. I will be one side and I am not going to fight. On the other side, all 11 or 14 Akshoyini Sainya, which runs to thousands of few 100,000 soldiers, that will be one side. O Arjuna, whom you want to choose? What you would like to choose? Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, we want you alone. Whether you fight or not, it is enough for us. We want you and not the soldiers, not the army, not the weapons or nothing else. Krishna said, okay, you are number one fool. You are selecting me in spite of all that. Then Duryodhana also wanted same thing. And Duryodhana said, what to do, Arjuna? My younger brother has sought for you. Then okay, whatever is left out, army and weapons and etc., let me have it. Yes, but finally, who won the victory? It is Arjuna or Pandavas. So this is what meant. One who derived the greatest joy by having the God, he can attain immortality. And who is tremendously attached to the God, to the Lord. Whatever it may come, I will not forget the Lord. There's a beautiful story. There once crow was near some water body, but still it is suffering from the want of water. Someone said, Arey, crow, you are such a foolish fellow. There is a water tank. Why don't you go and have a sip of water? And why are you suffering from the thirstiness, from the thirstness? But crow didn't answer anything, but just it kept mum or silent. The other saint or the other knowledgeable person, he said, it is not that crow doesn't know there is a water body. Crow can go and have the water, can sip the water, and it can take care of the thirst, no doubt. But the crow is bothering because when he's sipping the water, crow may forget the Lord's name. crow may not be able to remember, utter the Lord's name at that particular given point of time, maybe few seconds. The crow doesn't want. That is the reason crow is unable, is not interested in drinking the water. In spite of that, it is suffering from the thirst, but still it is repeating the Lord Rama's name mentally. These are all extreme examples. We don't say no. May not be it may be very difficult, or maybe it may not be commonsensical. It all appears to us, but so here we can see the nature of the true devotees. Then who love the path of truth, the path which had been taken by Sri Ramakrishna or any incarnation, the path which has been loved by people, even such people can attain the immortality. So the previous time, if you remember, these are the few points where we discussed. Now, after hearing such a grand idea about the devotion and about the probably intense divine love towards God, one who has got, yes, his or her life is blessed, he or she will attain immortality, that is all fine. Now I am an ordinary mortal, and I am very clear, and I am very straightforward and truthful and honest, at least at this point, that I don't have so much devotion, so much divine love, or I don't have so much conviction in the God's name or in the God's presence or whatever may be. So I don't have so much love towards God, which is nothing but bhakti. Then what is the chance? What is the chances of my redemption? If I don't have, am I condemned to the hell eternally, forever? Or is there any way out? So this type of question, this type of doubt, this type of haunting idea or thought can definitely boggle the devotee's mind. See, spiritual seeker's mind, definitely. All of us, some point of time, we might have thought this. Oh, I don't have so much devotion. I don't have so much steadfastness in the spiritual practices. Then what happens to me? So this question will boggle most of our mind many times as a spiritual aspirant. For that, answer is been given in the 4th verse. And probably if you remember my first class, I told this is a verse which has written on the Dvadasha mantra, that is 12 syllables. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. So till now, Om Namo Bhagavate Rama, Kr is over, Shnaya. So last three letters are left out. Swamiji is explaining in the last verse. Kṛtyaṁ. So what does it Kru stands for? Kṛtyaṁ karoti kaluṣaṁ kuhakāntakāri. Here kuhaka is very important word. Kṛtyaṁ karoti kaluṣaṁ kuhakāntakāri. Kuhaka means what? Kuhaka means general meaning is deceptiveness or hypocrisy. Kuhaka means hypocrisy or deceptiveness. Here, actually, we have to take it. The meaning is kuhaka stands for Maya. Reality is something, but I am perceiving it as something else, which in our Advaita Vedanta, we give a standard example of snake and rope. Rope exists actually, but I misperceive it as a snake, and all my transactions are depending on perceiving this as a snake. Similarly, if you remember Ishavasya Upanishad, the first verse itself very clearly tells, Ishavasya midas sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tektena bunjita magruda kasya svidana. Whatever exists in the world, whether atomic or very huge, sentient, insentient, living, non-living, movable, immovable, everything has to be covered by God. Everything has to be covered by divine. What does it mean? Everything has to be covered by divine. What does it mean? That means divine consciousness and consciousness alone exists. This is the truth. But unfortunately, the consciousness is been appeared as matter and so many things, and we have been cheated. We have got a deceptive vision. As a result, we are thinking the self, we are thinking the consciousness as something else, and we are getting carried over by this. This is a kuhaka here, maya, and which is extremely difficult to cross over, to understand, to accept, and then to come out from this. Understanding itself is a difficult. After understanding, accepting is much more difficult. I understand, I accept, but I have to cross over it. I have to get rid of it. That is extreme difficult. If anything is the difficult in the world, that is getting out, crossing over this maya. So that is what that beautiful idea, concept is been given or suggested by this one word called kuhaka. Kuhakāntakāri. By taking the shelter at the feet of the Lord, by repeating the Lord's name, which is the shortcut method for all of us. What is the shortcut method to cross over this Maya samsara? If you ask, there Swamiji is telling, by taking the Lord's name, by taking the Sri Ramakrishna's name or Lord's name, then what happens? You will be able to cross over this Maya samsara. Antakari, Maya is ended. Means ignorance is removed. Ignorance is destroyed. Darkness is removed. Kṛtyaṁ karoti. Karoti is doing, kṛtyaṁ, capable. Capable of doing. Capable of doing what? Kuhakāntakāri. So the kru in Ramakrishna, kru, the one word, the one syllable, what does it signify? It is capable of destroying the Maya. It is capable of destroying the ignorance. It is capable of destroying the cycle of birth and death, samsara chakra. Means that one syllable kru, it signifies that it is capable of giving the moksha or the mukti or nirvana or kaivalya. So that is the fourth verse, first line. Kṛtyaṁ karoti kaluṣaṁ kuhakāntakāri. So when we hear all these things, sometimes we feel probably will it be exaggeration? Is it really true? All these type of questions we may get. So if you remember Ramayana, the Adi Kavi, who is known as Valmiki, his life story is one of the best example to understand the efficacy of the Lord's name. I think probably most of you know the history or the life story of this great sage, the knower of Brahman, which is Valmiki. His original name is actually Ratnakara. He was born in a good family and he had done a lot of penance and he had a lot of good tendencies and all. But because of some reason, he had to start, theft or killing people and looting people and all. One day, Narada was caught by this Ratnakara, robber Ratnakara. Then Ratnakara asked, whatever money or gold, valuables you have, please give me. Then this Narada said, oh my dear, it's a wrong dial. Why? I'm a mendicant, I'm a monk, I don't have anything. Then Ratnakara said, oh my dear, you are not the first foolish person I'm seeing. This is a routine dialogue. If you want your life, please give, otherwise I'm going to kill you. Then Narada said, you can look, you can check with me. Then when after checking, Ratnakara found there is nothing with him except tamburi, a instrument, musical instrument. Then Ratnakara said, you are a waste fellow, get up. I want to get rid of it, get rid of you. There is no use catching you. Then Narada asked, why are you doing this? Then he says, I have to take care of my life, take care of my family, and etc. Then he says, by doing this type of heinous act, you are going to get a lot of sin, lot of bad results, action. Then he says, yes, but my family people are also partaking it, never mind. Then Narada asks, you go and confirm with them. Then when he goes and asks the family people say, no, we are only partaking your money or the whatever you are earning, but not your sin. Then it was a great shock for him, and he comes and he pleads Narada what to do. Then he says that you take the Lord's name, or just he says Mara, Mara. So you take this word Mara and start chanting the Lord's name. Then he sits and he starts chanting Mara, 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 and it gets converted to Rama. And he sat and he was doing this japa, nāma japa, the Lord's repetition of the Lord's name for so many years. There was a, anthill grown in and around him. That's why in Sanskrit, anthill is called Valmika. So anthill grew in and around him, then he did afterwards. Then when he came out, he had to break the anthill and he came. That's the reason he is called Valmiki. From Valmika he came out. That's why he's known as Valmiki. So he was a thief. He was a robber. But by the Lord's name, the efficacy of Lord's name, by doing that, what happened? He became the knower of Brahman. He became the Brahmagnani. So this is the efficacy of the Lord's name. By taking the Lord's name with all Shraddha, and if you can go on chanting the Lord's name, it can destroy all type of sin, all type of evils, all type of wrong things. So it is the ever purifier. So kuhakāntakāri, the Maya will be removed or destroyed. Ignorance will be removed, and my cycle of birth and death, samsara chakra, will be destroyed by the Lord's name. Then śṇāntaṁ, śivaṁ, suvimalaṁ, tava nāma, nātha. Maybe and one more word, very important word in the first line, kaluṣaṁ. Kaluṣa means impurities. Impurities can be broadly classified into three categories. One is physical impurities, what we all see, dust and all. Dust or dirt, or physical dirt and all. Then the two more impurities, which is we have to think. One is mental impurities, the other is spiritual impurity. Mental impurity means thinking wrongly, speaking untrue things, wrong emotions, wrong thinking, wrong speech, wrong actions, ethics and morality, opposite to ethics and morality, everything can be put in this mental impurities. Then spiritual impurities, though I am self, but I'm thinking as a body, mind, emotion, thought, doer, enjoyer, whatnot. This is what spiritual impurity, which is nothing but ignorance. So these impurities also will be removed by Lord's name. Kṛtyaṁ karoti kaluṣaṁ. So the impurities will be removed, will be cleansed, will be purified by the Lord's name. One is kuhakāntakāri. The Maya is destroyed, ignorance is destroyed, and the kaluṣa. The kaluṣa can be added as an adjective for kuhaka, or even if it can be taken as independently. Kaluṣa means we have got different impurities. All these impurities can be cleared, can be removed by the repetition of the Lord's name, or by taking shelter at the feet of the Lord's name. Then, śṇāntaṁ śivaṁ suvimalaṁ tava nāma nātha. Hey Nātha, O Lord, tava nāma, your name is capable of, your name or the name, your name nature is what? Śivaṁ. It is very auspicious. Śṇāntaṁ means what? Your name ends with śṇānta, Ramakrishna, śṇāntaṁ. So the Ramakrishna name ends with śṇāntaṁ, śṇāntaṁ, that's all there. Śivaṁ. Śivaṁ is auspicious. Suvimalaṁ, ever purifier. Tava nāma, your name, He Nātha, O Lord. So there's an interesting story in Holy Mother's life also. Probably if you have read Holy Mother's life deeply, elaborately, you'll be able to remember this story. A young chap, he was in Calcutta. He used to come to Holy Mother. Holy Mother used to love him. And that young boy also had experienced the mother's love. He was also very much moved. And Holy Mother initiated this young boy. It was all well, and he had started his college life. Because of some reason with the bad company, he started doing some unethical actions. Because of the bad company, he had a very wrong actions he started performing. After some days, suddenly one day he remembered, Holy Mother loves me so much, and she believes in me. And she has initiated me also. But in spite of all these things, I am doing wrong things. I am doing immoral, unethical things that doesn't befit me. Yeah, but because of the mental weakness, he was unable to leave them. Then he thinks that from now on, but since because I'm doing wrong things, I'm not supposed to go to mother, better I will not go. He decided and he stopped going to mother, visiting a Holy Mother. After some days, again he remembers Holy Mother and he thinks, okay, because she loves me so much, probably she's worried because I'm not going. So I should be courteous at least. I should have some manners at least. So, okay, then I will go to mother and I will say that I am not going to come. So please don't wait for me. Don't expect for me. So I will say and come off so that henceforth I will not go at all. Then he decides, he goes to Udbodhan in Calcutta where mother is to reside. Then he goes and he doesn't care who is seeing or what mother is thinking and all. Just says, mother, I'm not going to come from now onwards. So please don't expect for me. Don't think that I will be coming or whatever. Don't anticipate for me. Saying that, just he turned back and he was coming down. And we all know Holy Mother is bashful in nature and all. But that day, Holy Mother started running and chasing this boy. She came and she held that young boy's neck. I mean, he didn't expect this action or reaction from the mother. He was really stunned. Then he stood, then he turned towards mother, and he was able to see the Holy Mother's face beautifully, so near, such a glaring face. Then Holy Mother said, look, whenever you are in difficulty, you remember that Tumake Mach, Ami Achi, I have a mother. Just you remember that I have a mother. Just she said, and she walked. She walked to the upstairs again. She went and she sat in the hall or in the Udbodhan shrine, now present shrine. And this fellow also came back to house. And I mean, he didn't think something much about this, just he came back. No, whatever he is doing, and whenever, especially whenever he wants to do, commit the bad action which he used to do, immediately the mother's face is to come in front of him. Because of that, he was unable to perform the wrong action or immoral action or unethical action. It so happened time and again. Then he was forced to become good. He was forced to become righteous. Then finally, after some day, I think he comes and he falls at the feet of mother and he begs pardon and all. See, this is the grace of the divine or the supreme self. When the God's grace falls on us, we don't know how we are taken care, how we are protected, either in the materialistic life or in the spiritual life also. So just getting their grace is utmost important. So all our sadhana is what? Just to remove the impurities, to clear the impurities, to clear the obstacles. So that's why it is suvimalaṁ. It is extremely clearing. Mala means dirt, impurity. Vigatam mala. Vigatam mala means devoid of impurity. And suvimala means samyak vigatam mala. Malam means completely devoid of impurities. That is what suvimala. So if you take the Lord's name, all your impurities will be removed. And there's also, I think, a wonderful story. I think in one of the Purana, the story comes. Once in the olden days in India, you should remember there was a Gurukula system where the schools used to be mostly in the forest. So there was a guru and in a Gurukula and quite a few students were there. One student was very genius and he was good at studies and he was very sincere also, prompt also. And he was spiritual in nature. And he had studied scriptures and he had been initiated by his guru also by a particular mantra. And he was doing the repetition of the mantra every day, few thousand times. One fine day, somehow he got a few years might have been over. Suddenly he got very strong doubt. What is the use of repeating the Lord's name? What I am going to get or what did I get? It was very strong and piercing. So he was unable to meditate. He was unable to repeat the Lord's name or do japa. Then he approached his guru. And he asked, "Oh Gurudev, oh revered sir, please tell me, what is the efficacy of the Lord's name? I am unable to understand. I'm not getting convinced somehow." Then the Guru says, "Look, in front of there's a tree, there's a nest, there is a bird. Why don't you go and utter the mantra, whatever you got the mantra from me, you utter and you go and ask." Now he was thinking, okay, I will go and utter the mantra to the bird, fine. If I ask the question, well, the bird will be able to tell. He was not really, convinced because out of respect towards his guru, he went and he chanted the mantra, whatever he had got from his guru. He chanted the mantra and he asked the question, what I am going to get from repetition of the Lord's name. Before finishing this sentence, completing the sentence, the bird died. Then this fellow felt very bad. Arey, what did I do? So is it that because of me, this bird got died? Was feeling very bad. Already his mind was tormented by question. And now the bird died in front of him. This fellow felt very bad. He was little morose also. He came and he narrated the whole story. Gurudev, this is what happened. Please, at least you should tell me now what is the efficacy of the mantra, Lord's name. Then Guru said, okay, this time it happened. So I don't know why it happened. Anyhow, that's okay. Now you go to our cow shed. There, a cow has given a birth to the calf. And you go and utter the mantra, whatever I have given to you, and you go and ask the question to the calf, then you'll get the mantra. Then you'll get the answer. Now his mind started getting fear. Because if you see in India and especially among Hindus, Gohatya is one of the biggest sin. Killing the cow is one of the biggest sin, evil action. Now, he was very doubtful and he was fearful also, but still it is been ordered by his guru, his teacher. He had no other say, no other option. He went slowly, he approached the calf and it was just, the cow had given the birth, probably just maybe half an hour over or not, we don't know. And it is so lovely to see that calf. And now he was worried and he went and he uttered the mantra in the ears of the calf and he asked, what is the efficacy of the Lord's name? And calf died. Then really he started feeling very bad and he started probably crying and all. He went and narrated the whole incident and Guru gave the biggest challenge that, okay, now prince has been born for our king. You go and utter the mantra in the ear of the prince and you ask. Now, very clearly, he thought, okay, Guru has decided that I should end my life because I don't have Shraddha, faith in the Lord's name. So probably Guru want to end my life. That's why he's doing all these things. But still, out of respect for his Guru, he had no other option. Then he went and he approached his Guru and king, and he said, I am from such and such a Gurukula and my Guru's name is such and such. Then the king knew his guru, and he was a very famous person. He was known for a saintly character. Then the disciple was welcomed with due respect and honor, and he was given a seat, and he asked, how can I serve you? How can I help you? Then with fear, the disciple said, I would like to see your son, just born son, who is a prince. Then arrangements were made, and this disciple went and uttered the mantra in the ears of the just born prince, and he asked, what is the efficacy of the Lord's name? And even the baby prince also died. Imagine very well, we can imagine in the place soldiers and all were very alarmed. Soldiers caught this fellow, and king was also angry, and king also said, immediately go and hang him. So kill him, because of him, what he has done, we don't know. Because of him, I have lost my son, who would be in the future king. Immediately, from the baby, a subtle body came and said, oh, my dear sage, I am ever grateful to you. Because you uttered the mantra, which is very divine, which is very profound, which is very powerful. And I was cursed. So as a result, I had taken as a bird. When you uttered the mantra, when I heard, I got realization, I got liberation. And in no time, I took birth as a calf. And again you came and you were so, karuna, you were so compassionate. I had to probably suffer in all these 3 births, but you came and again you uttered the Lord's name, and as a result, again I got liberation. And now again I born as a prince. Probably I had to undergo training and had to become king and had to fight all the lifestyle, whatever the problems had to face by king, I had to face along with some other comforts. But because you gave the Lord's name to me, I have been released by all these things. I am going to the Vaikuntha or the above world. I am grateful to you. Thank you, he said. And also he said that for the king, please leave him, release him, saying that the soul or the subtle body disappeared. Then the king apologized and the disciple was left free. Then the disciple understood what is the efficacy of the Lord's name. So to make me first-hand experience, my guru has made me to undergo all these exercise or whatever. So here we can understand the efficacy of the Lord's name. So by uttering the Lord's name, one can get instant liberation. That shraddha, that faith, if we have got, instant liberation can happen. So that is why it is suvimalaṁ, samyak vigatam mala, completely. Not even iota of impurity one can have by chanting the Lord's name. This is the efficacy of the Lord's name. Tava nāma, your name is of the nature of suvimala, which clears all type of impurities. Already we saw mental impurities and spiritual impurities we saw. So that will be removed. And śivaṁ, śivaṁ is also an adjective. Tavanama, it is adjective. Śivaṁ and suvimala is adjective for tavanama. So śivaṁ means auspicious. What do we mean by auspicious here? How can it be auspicious? What is the auspicious? So auspicious can be understood from the 2 angles based on our Upanishadic or on the scriptural point of view. Auspicious means sarva mangala swarupa. It is complete. Completely blessed or auspicious. Means it can be understood from the 2 points. The auspicious means which is of the nature abhyudaya and nishreyasa. Attaining the highest materialistic progression, materialistic prosperities is called abhyudaya, and attaining the moksha, mukti, self-liberation, God realization, or complete eternal liberation is what called nishreyasa. One wants to be the richest man, millionaire. Yes, by chanting the Lord's name, one can become the millionaire. Now I have got some problems in my family or in my personal life or in my business life. By chanting the Lord's name, yes, one can get rid of it. It's called artha. Then the other is artharthi, means one who desires wealth, any type of wealth. Then someone is desiring what is the ultimate truth. I would like to know, I would like to experience. For them, if such person takes the Lord's name, he also understands the ultimate truth, what it is, and he experiences. That is what here, nishreyasa. So sarva mangala or Shiva means here, one is abhyudaya, the other nishreyasa. Even from Taittiriya Upanishad point of view, abhyudaya also can be thought over like attaining Brahmaloka. The highest possible happiness one can attain in this manifested world is what? Attaining Brahmaloka. Why? If you go to any other worlds, after your bank balance just over, then you cannot spend your debit card. Similarly, if you go to any other worlds, once your karma phala is over, the results of your good actions, you have to come back. But once you go to Brahmaloka, no more coming back. For thousands of years, you can live happily, blissfully. And at the end of the cycle of the creation, then you will merge in the self, or you will merge in the supreme self or the Brahman or whatever. That is what Puranas have explained. So the highest bliss is possibly attained, one can attain in Brahmaloka. That Abhyudaya stands for that. So even that Brahmaloka can be attained by doing the nāma japa, by taking the Lord's name. So śṇāntaṁ, śivaṁ, suvimalaṁ, tava nāma nātha. Hey Nātha, O Lord, your name is so holy, which is capable of clearing all the impurities and which is ever auspicious. So one is positive way of telling the Lord's name, what it is, and the other is negative way of telling. Śivaṁ is positive way, suvimalaṁ is negative way. Then yasmādaham tu aśaraṇo jagad-eka-gamya. So what is your goal? When I meet many youngsters or maybe adolescents and all, many times I see many people say, oh, I have not thought over Swamiji, they tell. Some of them, they tell, maybe becoming doctor, that pursuing medicine. Someone say, maybe I'll go to statistics, maths, I am good, statistics or business management or whatever. Someone say electrical and maybe celebrity or a farmer or whatever. So every one of us, we have got some goals in our life. So is that these are all temporary goals according to the scriptures? Then what is the permanent goal? What is the ultimate goal? As Sri Ramakrishna says, God realization is the ultimate goal for the human being or for the human life. And jagad-eka-gamya. So the final goal which has to be attained is been represented by jagad-eka-gamya. You are the final goal where everyone has to attain you. Everyone has to reach you today or tomorrow. If not day after tomorrow, if not after a month, if not after an year, in this life or in the next life. I think there's a beautiful story in a Gospel of Ramakrishna also. If you have thought over this, it will be a very interesting story. Master Mahashaya once, Mahendranath Gupta, who is the author of Gospel of Ramakrishna, he had come to Dakshineshwar. Sri Ramakrishna asked, do you get any dreams, divine dreams, or did you get any divine dreams recently? Mahendranath Gupta said, yes, sir, I did get recently very interesting divine dream. Sri Ramakrishna asked, oh, is it so? Okay, kindly let me know, what did you get it? Then he told the incident of Bhavanipur. I had been waiting at the seashore to cross the sea. Like me, there were so many people were waiting. But because there was a heavy storm, so no boatsman was available for us to take from the one side shore to other side. And I was restless. I wanted to go and I wanted to travel from the one side of the shore to the other side. Then I saw one old Brahmin was able to, he was just walking on the water. And he was very fastly he was going in a speed. Then I said, Venerable sir, will you mind to take me also? Or first he asked, where are you going? Then that old man said, I am going to Bhavanipur. So Bhavanipur means it is a abode, Lord's abode, or it is the abode of mother. So in a symbolical language, it has been told, Bhavanipur, I am going. Then this Mahendranath Gupta said, oh, it is beautiful. Even I want to come to Bhavanipur. That's the Lord's abode, mother's abode, final abode it is. So I would like to come. Will you mind to take? Then that old man said, no, I cannot take you because I'm going in speed. In my speed, you cannot come. Then here, there is a underground bridge. Means there is a bridge which you are not able to see. So if you start walking, slowly if you start walking, you just observe my path, observe my footsteps and observe my path which I have taken. Observe there is a bridge which you are not able to see. So just follow my footsteps and you will be able to reach the Bhavanipur today or tomorrow, or even some days. Mahendranath Gupta was very much happy about this. And when Mahendranath Gupta explained to Sri Ramakrishna felt very happy and said, I'm feeling very goosebumps or whatever. Means what? Sri Ramakrishna has created the path and only we have to take that path. Sri Ramakrishna in elsewhere he tells beautifully, I have created the, what you say, where we use, I think in Kannada we use a different word, like we use the materials and caste. So just the iron caste or different caste. So caste has prepared, only you have to put yourself. So Sri Ramakrishna has showed the path for all of us how to attain self-realization or God realization or moksha or mukti. So that incident has been told here also. So jagad-eka-gamya, one who takes shelter at the feet of the Lord. at the feet of Ramakrishna, or Rama, or Krishna, or Shiva, or Durga, or any other god, or Jesus, or any prophet, then what? They will attain the immortality. So that has been told by jagad-eka-gamya. You are the person whom to be really taken shelter, or you are the probably Gamya is goal. You are the goal of the world. You are the ultimate goal of the world. Attaining materialistic prosperities and good name and fame, power, position, all these things are temporary goals. What is the permanent goal? What is the ultimate goal, if you ask? It is attaining the Lord, attaining self-realization or God realization. So that's why it is meant jagad-eka-gamya. There is only the ultimate goal of the world is what? Attaining you. Because you are the origin of all beings. And consciousness alone exists finally. And that is what we use in the other language. We call that consciousness by the name God. So God and God alone exist. Consciousness and consciousness alone exist. I have to reach today or tomorrow. Or I have to remove the barrier. So that is what jagad-eka-gamya. You are to be attained. Then aśaraṇo. This is also a wonderful word. Aśaraṇo means shelterless. I am shelterless. I don't have a shelter. Why, Swamiji, you have got Air Vedanta Society? Why are you telling a lie? You don't have a shelter. See, every one of us, we have got some house or some place to take shelter. We are not speaking of that shelter. We are speaking of the shelter where the real shelter. I thought wealth is everything. So I spent my time in earnings. See, money is required for every one of us, no doubt. But we think money is everything, alpha and omega of the life. And I started go on earning the money. I took mentally shelter with the money. Then after some time, yes, money is something, no doubt, but it is not everything. I understood. Someone thought power. If I am powerful man in the world or woman in the world, I can do anything and everything, or no one can do anything and everything. Then they struggled. They took the shelter under the power. But afterwards, they understood it is not so. Complete security cannot be given by power alone, neither by riches, nor by power, nor by beauty, nor by achievements. All of them, they are all temporary shelters. The permanent shelter is what? God. So from that point of view, sadhaka, a spiritual aspirant, knowing the limitations of all this world and its properties, he's telling that I am really shelterless. Why? Because here and there I'm taking shelter in all these things, but it doesn't give complete shelter for me. I don't get complete security from all these things. You are the real security. You, by taking shelter at you, that is the real shelter. But though I understand this, I am not able to put into practice. As a result, I have become the shelterless person. Aśaraṇo. I have tried many things with many things, but it is of no use, or it is of little use. I know this, but I am unable to practice. That is the reason finally I have come to you. Yasmādaham tu aśaraṇah. Yasmād means since. Because of this reason, I have come to you. You are the jagad-eka-gamya. And I am aśaraṇah. I am shelterless, and you are to be attained. The tasmāt tvameva śaraṇaṁ. I know all these things. By taking your name, you are the ultimate goal to be attained. Suvimalaṁ, your name is, by taking your name, all my impurities gets clear. Then Shiva, śivaṁ, it is with full of auspiciousness. Either I want materialistic prosperities or I want spiritual bliss. Even that can be attained. All these things I know. And kuhakāntakāri, the maya, the ignorance is removed, destroyed by your grace, by your Lord's name. Then kṛtyaṁ karoti, it is capable of getting everything. It is like kalpataru. All these things are fine. I understand, but I am not able to put into practice. Tasmāt, therefore, tvameva śaraṇaṁ. I shall take refuge in you. Mama dīna-bandho. You are the, what you say, relative, or you are the bandhu. You are the friend of all the lowly people. Even like us, we know all these things, but we are not able to put into practice. I am a very low-minded person. That's what dīna-bandho. But even for such low-minded people, you have not deserted. You are the protector us. That tasmāt tvameva śaraṇaṁ. I shall take refuge in you. So here, sadhaka is understanding the truth, but is unable to practice the truth. He is understanding his limitations. He is understanding his problems. So by taking shelter at the feet of the Lord, he is clearing all the obstacles, which is nothing but the ego. The ego is one of the biggest obstacle for all of us. So by taking the shelter, he is trying to dissolve the biggest obstacle so that he can receive, he can be the recipient of the divine grace. Once the divine grace flows for him, then what happens? Whatever is to be attained, whatever he wishes to get, everything he can get, everything he can achieve, he can attain the immortality. So this is the wonderful poem or wonderful hymn written on the self-surrender. Why should we take surrender at the feet of the Lord? What is the efficacy of it? What is the glory of it? By taking shelter at the feet of the Lord, what all things we can get has been beautifully explained in these 4 verses by Swamiji, by Swami Vivekananda. And these 4 verses, if you see, the last line of every verse, if you put aside, then the 12 lines we get it, 4 paras. The 12 lines, every line explains one syllable, one word of this Dvadasha mantra, 12 syllable mantra, which is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Then the next mantra, Pranama mantra, is been added afterwards, Om Stapakaya Cha Dharmasya. We shall try to see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So, any questions?
I didn't attend the previous class, but in the beginning, when you said that there are a couple of bhakti perspective, that one who is completely satisfied in God or derives greatest joy, or are tremendously attached to God, like with examples. The first example, like one who is completely satisfied with God, like can you give one example?
For example, if you see in the Sri Ramakrishna's life itself, Gopalerma. So she had a poverty and she didn't have materialistic comforts and all, but she had a satisfaction. She never had any complaints, isn't it?
Okay, so yeah, so I understood, like santosh, in terms of contentment.
Trupti, we can say. Not even santosh, trupti, contentment.
Trupti.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all I think, isn't it? Okay. Thank you.
Ramakrishna.
Thank you, Swamiji. Today's session was very, very nice. Thank you.